What does the current state of the Israel-Hamas conflict mean for the future of global politics? This is a question that many are grappling with as the world watches the events unfolding in the Middle East. In recent times, we've seen a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, ending what has been described as the bloodiest fighting the region has seen in years. This agreement, proposed by Egypt, was welcomed by many, including President Joe Biden, who promised aid for Gaza's reconstruction. However, even after the announcement of the ceasefire, reports of continued fighting were rife. This raises questions about the sustainability of the agreement and its implications for the future. The conflict has its roots in long-standing political tensions, fueled by Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories and recent efforts to push Palestinians out of East Jerusalem. These tensions have been further exacerbated by accusations of potential war crimes committed by both Israel and Hamas. The involvement of other countries in this conflict cannot be overlooked. For instance, incidents of US Navy ships shooting down rebel missiles, potentially heading towards targets in Israel, as reported by Business Insider, underscore the global implications of the Israel-Hamas conflict. The US's commitment to defending American and coalition forces against any threat has led to an increase in their presence in the region. This has in turn led to heightened tensions in the Middle East, with fears that Iran or its proxy groups like Hezbollah might join the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. These events are not happening in isolation. They are part of a larger geopolitical landscape where power dynamics constantly shift and the lines between unipolar, bipolar and multipolar world orders blur. The Israel-Hamas conflict is a microcosm of these global political dynamics, and its resolution or lack thereof will undoubtedly have ripple effects across the world. As we delve deeper into this issue, consider the effects of this conflict on a global scale. It's not just about Israel and Hamas. It's about the future of global politics, the balance of power, and the path we are collectively charting for our world. How has this conflict influenced international relations and the balance of power? The Israel-Hamas conflict is not just a regional issue. It resonates on a global level, stirring reactions from major players on the world stage. The United States, a long-standing ally of Israel, has been vocal about its commitment to defend its forces and allies in the region. This was evident when a US Navy ship, the USS Carney, shot down missiles and drones launched by Houthi rebels from Yemen, which were potentially heading towards targets in Israel. This incident is a testament to the US's firm stance and readiness to act in light of threats to its allies and interests. However, this commitment is not without its critics. Within the United States, the conflict has exposed a divide within the Democratic Party over US-Israel relations. Some progressive members have been vocal about challenging US assistance to Israel, calling for a more balanced approach to the conflict. On the other side of the spectrum, there are fears of Iran or its proxy groups, like Hezbollah, joining the conflict. This fear is not unfounded. The recent explosion at a hospital in the Gaza Strip, which Israel and the US attribute to a failed rocket launch by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group, has led to protests and safety advisories from US embassies. The Middle East is a region on edge, with the spectre of further escalation looming large. In this intricate and volatile web of international relations, the Israel-Hamas conflict is a key thread. Each incident of violence, each ceasefire, each diplomatic maneuver has ripple effects that are felt far beyond the borders of Israel and Palestine. The conflict has become a litmus test for the world's major powers, revealing their geopolitical strategies, alliances, and rivalries. In light of these developments, we must ask, what will be the new direction of the Israel-Hamas conflict? In a world that is increasingly polarized, what can we expect from the future of the Israel-Hamas conflict? Let's consider the potential outcomes, bearing in mind the dynamics of unipolar, bipolar, or multipolar world perspectives. In a unipolar scenario, a single superpower dictates the course of global events. Given the United States' historical role in Middle Eastern affairs, the Israel-Hamas conflict could see a resolution under the influence of American diplomacy. However, President Biden's administration has largely focused on domestic issues, leaving an open question about the depth of their commitment to resolving this conflict. Now let's consider a bipolar world. Here, Two dominant powers, possibly the United States and China, could shape the future of the Israel-Hamas conflict. The interplay between these two superpowers could lead to a power balance or potentially escalate the situation, depending on their respective interests and alliances in the region. Lastly, we come to the multipolar scenario. In this case, multiple influential players such as Russia, China, the European Union and the United States could exert their influence, leading to a more complex and unpredictable outcome. The Israel-Hamas conflict in this scenario might see a myriad of interventions, negotiations, and possibly even escalations as these powers vie for influence and control. Drawing from reliable sources like Al Jazeera and BBC, the future direction of the Israel-Hamas conflict remains uncertain, with potential for both resolution and escalation. Despite ceasefires and international interventions, the underlying issues fueling the conflict persist. As we navigate these uncertain times, it's crucial to stay informed and understand the broader implications of these conflicts. As we reflect on the Israel-Hamas conflict and its global implications, let us remember the importance of peace and diplomacy. To summarize, we've delved into the unresolved issues that fuel this conflict and how it's become a global dilemma, affecting nations far beyond the borders of Israel and Palestine. We've also speculated on potential new directions this conflict could take, considering the current geopolitical landscape. We've seen how the dynamics of unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar global structures can influence such conflicts, and the crucial role that nations and their leaders play in shaping these outcomes. It's clear that this conflict, like many others, is a complex web of historical disputes, political ideologies, and international relations. In a world that's more interconnected than ever, understanding these global events and their wider implications is crucial. It's not just about being aware, it's about being informed, about looking beyond the headlines to the root causes and potential solutions. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Global VIPs for more insightful discussions on global issues.